Hey everybody, it's Bill with the latest update to my keto and intermittent fasting adventure here. Wonderful news! I went and weighed this morning and found that I had dropped 5 pounds. So finally passed the plateau at 360 and a pretty big loss, 5 pounds this week. The only thing I've changed is that 2 days this week I did go 24-hour periods, meaning I basically, between eating. So basically, I just ate one meal a day from Tuesday to Wednesday, and then Thursday to this morning, Friday. And it's October 8th, Friday, right now. So, as I'd said in the last video, that's something that I wanted to start doing. I'm not sure that I dropped 5 pounds of fat, but what I think's happening is, everything combined is issues: the water weight, the stress, the change in medications, and all of that. I think posted over a graph over time. I've probably been dropping little bits of fat the whole time, and then by fasting over last night, and from all I did was I ate lunch yesterday, and I haven't eaten since then. It's going to be lunchtime again here, and that's when I'll have my next meal. And I think that flushes the body out too. I probably have released some water, and my body's empty, and I think it's actually showing probably what's happened over the last couple weeks. So if you take a 5 pound drop this morning, I've said I was 360 for weeks now. Well, now you could say it was 1 pound a week, right? It's going to be an average of like 1 pound a week. That kind of thing used to happen to me when I was doing WW as well. It's just like, you're eating right. You know that you haven't changed anything drastically that should be adding weight, but it just doesn't seem to come off. And then at some point, you get the bigger drop. It's keto. I'd like to be telling you I'm dropping, 10 pounds a week. That's not what's happening right now. I've already been through 100 times at this point that I'm not really watching quantity. I still haven't changed that too much. Quantity, that is, of food per meal. But I do follow keto, and I'm, very conscious about the time intervals between my intermittent fasting. So that is what I have going on right now. I'm going to go get some lunch. Pretty happy about the weight loss, and, glad to see it kind of prove out a little bit. And I am excited also to continue on and see where it goes from here. It's kind of like right now, I'm not going to change up too much more than maybe just do the one meal a day when I feel like I can. If that ends up being more days a week, that's fine. Like I said, this week it was over two 24-hour periods this last week, and this is the result that I've seen. Yoo-hoo! 5 pounds lost. That's great news. Yesterday was a little bit tough at night. And again, it wasn't hunger or dire hunger. It was just, I think, habit. And I think, it was Friday night and we were going to watch some TV and stuff like that. And it is pretty amazing to me how strong the drive of just habit and psychological side of the eating is. And I think that's where the word addiction comes into play, because it's an addiction, right? It's not that your body, like, I'm not even craving to eat as far as biologically, or my body, my stomach or my system, like that. If I sit back and think about it, I'm like, oh, I'm not really that hungry. But I'm wanting to eat just because it's something that I'm used to and something that I do, and that in terms of diet, as opposed to maybe some kind of drugs that have or sugar, which I'll put in that category. Like when you're on carbs, there's a much more intense biological craving and drive to, to want to ingest more sugar, or I'm sure drugs. I just equate it. I compare everything to like cigarette smoking, or drugs in my case, as far as, and I haven't done any of that, but I think the food is my addiction. But without the sugar, you take away the physical side of that addiction. And it's very interesting then to just see the psychological side, and to know that in most people who are not, who eat a normal food pyramid diet, I'll call it normal from the perspective of what most Americans probably eat, that they're dealing with both of these, right? They're dealing with the physical addiction of the sugar and the refined carbohydrates, but there's a strong psychological side to it too. And what I'm finding is it's just very interesting to me that, keto kind of allows you to eliminate that physical side of it, right? And now, I can focus on the psychological and see how intense that is at times, which I didn't even really know was a thing, the habitual side of just wanting to eat. I mean, without, everybody would just assume like they're hungry, like I'm hungry and I want to eat. So I would term it, keto allows you to focus on that psychological side, and there's obviously work to be done there. I can tell you throughout the day when I'm really busy, that's the part that, you can kind of ignore, like you don't even think about it, right? You're just like, if you're working on the yard or something like that, and you don't have the physical cravings from the sugar, then your mind is occupied with other things. But that psychological side comes in at times when, you would have really enjoyed just eating as an activity. That's the hard part. It's like there's a line to be walked there, right? Because I do want a high quality of life, and eating is such a part of our culture that I don't want to say, okay, well, I'm never going to go out and have dinner again or something like that, But just to be conscious that there's that mental drive there, it may inform choices about, food and things like that. Like you could probably go out in a social situation, and if you go into it with the idea that it's simply social, that may really change what you decide to eat or drink, knowing that you're really not going there to nourish yourself, knowing that you're not going there really to eat because you're trying to sustain your body, right? It's a different thing. So, maybe you really eat low calorie, and make sure you have food around and things like that, or your choices in food are not full of sugar. Very low calorie, so it's a non-issue. I have nothing else to report right now. Things are stable as far as health issues. I may have more to say on that when I go visit my doctors, my cardiologist, and my primary doctor. But, at this point, if they're not calling me right back on the phone after testing or something like that, that's good news, right? Because like after the stress test, when they thought there was this abnormality, it was like 10 minutes later I got a call from the cardiologist telling me what I had to do next, So after this last test, all has been quiet. And I've been kind of working a normal schedule. I've been pretty active outside, working on the house, working on, the yard, and have never had any symptoms or problems as far as my heart goes. So that's been the weird thing. But that's where that is. There's really nothing more to report right now. I appreciate everybody who continues to check in, and I hope you guys have a really great weekend and a great week as well. And I was close to posting again. I'm still, to be honest with you, I'm working through setting up more of a consistent platform here as far as cameras and microphones, and still kind of messing with that. And so it's a little bit more of an effort to just drop in and make a video real fast. I'm trying to be dedicated and do it at least once a week. But, you know, once I get something set up that I could just leave in place, I'll be much quicker to drop in. So thank you so much for watching. I really appreciate everybody watching, and I hope that you're getting something out of this. All right, guys, thanks so much. Have a great week.